Hi, my name is Jimmy Johnson. I work at Upper Columbia Conference in the Trust Department, and one of the jobs that I do is handle insurance for the conference. Many of your facilities may choose to rent out their building at some point in time to another organization. And when that happens, they need to provide us with a certificate of liability insurance. And there are a few things that you need to know about that certificate in order to make sure that that organization puts together all the pieces we need to make sure that they have proper coverage when they are on our premises. I'd like to go over examples of that document with you in this short video. A certificate of liability insurance is a document that proves that someone has insurance and shows the limits of what their policy carries. One of the first things you're going to look for is the name of the organization renting from you and their address. That's near the top left corner. And then as you work down through the document, you're going to see the policy name, general liability is what you're looking for, and then their policy number, and then the dates that the policy is in effect. Usually it covers a one-year period. Next to that, on the far right column, you will see a level of limits. You're going to see each occurrence. Typically that's $1 million. And then you're going to see a line for general aggregate. Aggregate means the total amount of money that a policy would pay out in 1 year. And so on this example it says not applicable because there is no limit. You could have an unlimited amount of $1 million claims in that policy period. A lot of the organizations renting from us will typically have 2 million aggregate. Some will have 3 or 4. Some will have 5 million. But we will never go less than 2 million aggregate. Another policy that we require an organization to have is sexual misconduct, sexual molestation coverage. And they must have a limit of $1 million on that policy. Some insurance companies combine that into their general liability policy, while other insurance companies write a completely separate policy. The example I'm showing you right now has the sexual misconduct part of the general liability policy. This other example shows it as a separate policy. It's called an EPL policy. That's employment practices liability, and they may give you listed out as a separate policy down on the other section. We want to make sure that their policy periods are the same, they cover within that same year period, and that their limit is $1 million. At the bottom, you're going to see a description of operations where it says certificate holder is additional insured, and that's important. You want the entity renting from you to be additional insured. The certificate holder is Upper Columbia Corporation of Seventh-day Adventists. The reason we put Upper Columbia Corporation down is because they hold title to your property. And so also the policy that we carry are all in the name of Upper Columbia Corporation. And so if they're going to insure, they need to insure the corporation, not your local church or school. The second page shows what additional insured means. If you do not get this second page, that means that they haven't really named you additional insured. This additional insured page is an endorsement. You can see that right across the top where it says this endorsement changes the policy. You need to make sure that it says endorsement and that it names Upper Columbia Corporation on the schedule, as you see in the example. Typically, this form, as you can see, says CG 2026-1185. That CG 2026 is an industry standard form, and when you're asking an insurance company to give you a copy of the endorsement, often they will do it on this form CG 2026. So in review, what you're looking for is a certificate of liability insurance that shows the name of the organization renting from you. It shows their policy number, it shows the dates that it's effective, it shows the limits, and it shows that they have coverage for sexual misconduct, and it also shows that the Upper Columbia Corporation is named additional insured, and you must get a second sheet that shows the endorsement naming the corporation as additional insured. If you have questions, you can give me a call. My direct line is 509-242-0474, and my email address is jimmyj@uccsda.org.